Hi, welcome to valuationpodcast.com, a podcast and video series about all things related to business and valuation. My name is Melissa Gragg, and I'm a business valuation expert in St. Louis, Missouri. I have the privilege of interviewing Greg Caruso today, who is a business broker in Maryland, New Jersey, and New York, and he knows how to sell a business. He also helps business owners with financial planning and has recently written a book called The Art of Business Valuation, and it will be published by Wiley Sons. That sometimes it's not even the valuation person isn't getting the right information from the business owner. The business owner may not understand how important certain information is to the value. And that, I think, becomes an important piece that the valuation person needs to communicate. But one thing that you talked about was a market approach or a market method. Do you want to elaborate a little bit on what does the market approach mean for a small business? What are you doing in that approach?
Sure. Well, the market method, essentially what we're doing is we're going primarily to databases. Sometimes, again, I'm also an active broker, so I may know of a couple transactions in my market. But predominantly, I'm relying on databases where other brokers have sent information in on their transactions. And there's lots of issues and unknowns with transactions. Going back to sort of my Home Depot, a hardware store that's getting sold 6 months before a Home Depot opens down the block is going to have a different value than one out in the country where it's unlikely to have that issue. We can't always see that in the database. But if you look at the databases and you parse them correctly, which we go into in the book, and you review the information that is there, you can get a very good understanding of the value. 20 years ago, this was really not the case. I've been doing this about 20 plus years. And 20 years ago, it was much more rule of thumb. The data was much less high quality and frankly, a lot less of it. So to me, that's one of the big changes while I've been valuating is that for these smaller businesses, there are comps in most cases. And that wasn't the case 20 years ago, to be frank.
Yeah, and a lot of these databases are what valuation companies will purchase. So it may not be readily available to the business owner or planner, but a lot of times a valuation firm can get access to that. So that's why, and a lot of business brokers have access and things like that. So that's why we talk about some of those things.